Afternoon, evening, everybody. Hope you're well. Hope you're staying safe. Hope you're having a lovely day. Hope that's working all right. We had a little bit of a glitch before we went live, first of all. It's the second time we're attempting this. So hopefully anyone that's watching this can join in and enjoy and all that sort of stuff. So I'll just make sure this is all set up as it needs to be. Yeah, I think we're good. Okay, so what are we doing? We are jarring more honey. We took an extraction from the guys, from the girls a little while ago. Drunken Chef Barbecue, hello my friend, hope you're well. So we took a harvest from the girls a little while back. I think we took about 20 odd frames from them, give or take. I can't remember exactly how many frames it was. It was about 20 frames. And we've got a load of honey. I don't know how much we're going to get. I'm hoping we're going to get anywhere between 60 to 100 jars is my aim to get this time. I don't know how far off we're going to be from that one. I hope we're going to be close. The last harvest we took 64 jars. So I'm hoping we're going to get a bit more this time. You'll see when the honey is coming out that it is a lot clearer than the last time. It's the honey for the summer flow. They've been on the brambles and it's a nice clear honey. The last time was mixed up with the canola of rapeseed oil, however you want to refer to it as. And like I said, this time we're doing a little bit different. So if you are here, by all means, chat amongst yourselves, ask me any questions. More than happy to answer anything as we go through. And like I said, I've got absolutely no idea how long I'm going to be live for today. I've got to pick the kids up at about, well, they finished nursery school at 1 o'clock because of the heat we're having. They're closing early. So we are picking the kids up. I've got to make sure we got them by 1. So it's now what? It's now just going up to 11 o'clock UK time. So we should have plenty of time to get a load done. So, but like I said, feel free to stop by, come and go as you please. And yeah, like I said, have a chat and hope you enjoy. So here we go. Let's have a look. Good start. We'll start the scales. There we go. So we have, yet again, we run in 8 ounce jars. And let's have a look. And that is beautiful stuff. Stunning stuff. Back just 2 seconds. Dog's got a whinge to go up. Yeah, so that is beautifully clear honey. So yeah, so we have 8 ounce jars honeys. This holds 272 grams, I believe it is. And it is beautiful stuff. It's been settling for a couple of days. So we've took all the, if you have a jarred honey, you know that once you've settled it, you get a little bit of scum on the top. So we've had that already taken off. And now hopefully, I'm just going to get this all in. But like I said, feel free, chat amongst yourselves if you're here. Yeah, Alexa's going to shout at me.
One moment.
You know that?
Showing results for Samsung.
Alexa, stop. Not too sure why Alexa had to get me. But yeah, it's beautiful stuff. Jar 1. Like I said, we've bought, I'm not sure how many jars I've got at the moment. I think I've got about 300 jars or so. Feels like 300 jars. Probably nowhere near that, but feels like 300 jars clogging up the garage. But it does look beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. So whoever's in here at the moment, let me know, how is the weather your way? We are struggling at the moment. We have had a hottest night last night. And we have got our hottest day predicted at the moment. And that's at 40 degrees in places of the UK. 40 degrees is ridiculous. Now, don't get me wrong. I get over in the States and all over the world, you get loads of more temperature, higher temperature than that. But that's not right for us. 40 degrees. Yeah, I'm not sure how much that is in Fahrenheit. It's got to be close to 100. If anyone can do conversions, by all means, let me know. It's got to be close to 100. It's too hot. Hot, yeah, it's hot. 17 kilograms of one of yours. That's awesome. That is absolutely amazing. I'm not too sure. Yeah, we did the same regarding space-wise. This is why this harvest is here in the first place. I would have probably left them a little bit longer, but I had a look in the harvest in the hives a little the other day. I'm not even sure how long ago it was now, but we had a look in them the other day, and it was just crammed full of honey. So we needed to make some space for them. Yeah, it's hot. This is the only bit of kit. This bucket here, where I'm jarring from, this is the only bit of the kit that I really, really want to replace. Don't get me wrong, it was fine for when I started, but it's just a pain getting honey in, honey out of this one. Really want to get this replaced at some point. Hopefully, making a bit of money out of this honey, I should be able to replace this bit of kit. But yeah, this is the only bit of kit that I want to replace. Hopefully, the rest of everything else I think is doing all right. We don't need any more boxes at the moment. We've got plenty of boxes. But I say that now, it's going to be a really swarmy next year now, saying that. But we've currently got 7 hives running. 7 hives or 8 hives? One of the two. Either 7 hives or 8 hives running at the moment, which for me at the moment is plenty. You know, I said a little while back, my wife's pregnant. In this heat as well, I feel so sorry for my wife. I really do. She's 34 weeks pregnant, I believe, at the moment. And 34 weeks pregnant in 40-degree heat. I do feel sorry for her, I really do. She's at work at the moment, bless her. But the aircon, luckily, at work is fantastic. So that's keeping her nice and cool. But yeah, it said the 40-degree heat while you're 4 weeks pregnant. Not for me, and I feel so sorry for my missus. And anyone else that's going through it as well, obviously. So that's 4 jars so far. No, that's 3 jars. This is number 4. And this little bucket's still got quite a bit left in it. So we've still got a long way to go. So like I said, I have no idea how long this live's going to be. It could be an hour. It could be 2 hours. I genuinely don't know. But I thought it'd be nice to do a live while we do these ones, because it gives me an opportunity to chat to people. So if people do come in, come and go as you please. It gives me a chance to have a chat to other beekeepers in the area, beekeepers around the world, just touch base with people as well. So it's a grand way of keeping in touch with people. That's reading 200. Why is that reading 250 at that point? I'm not too sure why these scales are reading the way they are. This is supposed to be 227 grams, but I know roughly whereabouts on the jar 227 grams is. And it's no idea why it's currently running up to about 250. I'm not too sure why it's doing that. Yeah. Do it by eye. But that is beautiful stuff. Like I said, this year's summer crop, or every year's summer crop, I should say, always comes out really clear. I said the last lot that we had was mixed up between pretty much brambles and canola and all sorts of stuff. But this year's, but the bramble honey comes out beautiful. And just imagine people coming onto YouTube, looking up a live, coming onto a live and thinking, what the hell is he doing? And realize, I don't want to watch that. Thank you for people that are stopping by. Much appreciated. We've just hit over our 700 mark as well, which is amazing. So we've just hit over 700 subscribers. I had a look on our Instagram page. I can't remember. I think it was our Instagram page the other day, and saw that it was about a 12-month ago, which we were at 300 subscribers. So this channel's done really, really well just over the last, not even the last 12 months, over the last 8-9 months. It's awesome. I must admit, these do make making videos a lot easier as well. And you're right, I like making videos. And anyone that's watched my videos knows that I'm not a big fan of editing. Actually, I don't edit at all. I don't think any of my videos get edited, apart from maybe the shorts, which have a little bit of music stuck to them, but that's preloaded anyway onto YouTube. But going live just gives you the chance just to roll with it, really, which is my best. It's how I really enjoy doing channels and videos and that. So I thought the kitchen should be one of the coolest houses in the room, but it's really not. That's almost this first bucket done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is jar 8. We're now going a little bit over 227. That doesn't really matter, does it? That doesn't really matter. A little bit extra in the days where everything is costing more. I think this first bucket is pretty much done. Yeah, I'm going to reload that. Reload it. Right, bear with me a second. I will just close that off. Fill this up and I will be back in a second. Try and remember, I'm not allowed to whistle or make noises or stuff, otherwise YouTube tells you off. Oh, we got so much honey still. I don't think how much honey's in there. Enough to keep me going for a little bit. That's that one done. Let's go again. I feel that's a little bit higher than I normally do. That should be fine. Liquid gold. Looks so nice. I got a nice compliment today from one of the ladies I've sold to. She came up to me and she said, "Johan, it's lovely. We've given it to my son. My son has a spoonful of it every day." She said that his hay fever, which he struggles with normally, and had any problems. No problems whatsoever after having some of your honey. I was like, yes. That's what I like to hear. Never happy customer. But yeah, this is the only bit here. I really want to replace this pot, this bottling tank, jarring tank, however it's referred to as. It's just clunky. I think that's the best way I can describe it. It's clunky. It works, don't get me wrong, but it's not as well as I'd like it to. Not as well as I would like it to. This is where everything starts getting sticky and horrible. You know what? As a beekeeper, it's probably the worst thing to say, but I think I've said it before. My worst job is dealing with honey. I hate dealing with honey. Don't get me wrong, once it's all done and it's labelled in its jars and it looks pretty, it's great. But the actual jarring process and dealing with the extraction and all that sort of stuff, my worst beekeeping job. Beekeepers that are watching this, maybe on a replay, what is your worst beekeeping job? Wax, inspection, honey. What is your worst beekeeping job? Like I said, mine is most definitely dealing with honey, working with honey. Not so much now at this point. This point isn't too bad, but with the kit that I've got for extraction, definitely working with honey, especially at the extraction stage. Sticky, horrible, bleh. But like I said, once it's all bottled and jarred, it's amazing stuff. Absolutely amazing stuff. Yeah, let them do its thing. Sorry, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's 10 jars so far. 10 jars so far. Just trying to do a bit of estimentation, I suppose. Estimentation, is that a word? You know, I reckon we're going to be close to 100 jars. 100 jars, I reckon, of this extraction. Give or take. Give or take a few. Ah, sticky mess. Sticky mess. So this is one thing I hate about this bucket because it leaks around the side. As soon as you start opening it, you see it just start dribbling all over the place. That is, like I said, that's why I want to replace this bucket at some point. Get something a little bit more fancier. It's awkward. However, it was cheap. So I can't, what you expect? You buy cheap, you buy twice. I think this is actually the third one of these buckets I bought, actually, because I had problems with a couple of other bits with it. But, like I said, it does the job, just about. But it does look amazing. And this is to be honest, this is my favorite type of honey as well. I said the stuff from the spring honey harvest, which is more of the rapeseed oil or canola and all that sort of stuff. Having it mixed with something else kind of keeps it from setting rock solid. So I think it gets a little bit like a bramble / rapeseed canola sort of mix. So it doesn't go really, really solid. But this stuff, this is mainly from the brambles and mainly from the blackberries. And you can see how clear it is. That is remarkably clear, in my opinion. A few bubbles in it, hasn't settled probably quite as much, or I might be doing things a little bit too quick, but they'll even out. But this is my favorite tasting honey as well. Ivy is by far my worst. I think beans as well. Is it beans? I think they come out with a kind of like a licoricey sort of taste. I'm not a fan of that as well. But brambles, it's just sweet enough and just sturdy enough. It's definitely my favorite type. So yeah, like I said, I've got absolutely no idea how long this live's going to go on for. I'm just going to keep on going until it's all done, pretty much. If you want to watch, by all means, People do jump in and out of the chats, absolutely fine. People do like jump in and out of the streams, absolutely fine. I'm sure there's hundreds of lives going on at the moment. And this is just one of them. Yeah, I'm sure there's loads of lives going on. So as I said, it's the difficult thing you have with YouTube is you've got to try and get your timings right with your other subscribers as well. You know, people that, well, not your subscribers, but the people you subscribe to. You know, I've had a look at my subscriber, who I'm subscribed to, and I've lost count, loads on there. But the problem is, I said, you want to watch them all and you want to not necessarily support them all. I know you do want to support them all, got me wrong, but they also put really good content out there as well, and you want to watch their content. Just getting the time to be able to get around and watching everybody's, it's just so hard. But so yeah, so we fully appreciate the fact people dropping in, dropping out, and all that. And my scales has gone off, which is fantastic. This one's going to have to be done by eye. This one's going to get a little bit more than what the others would. I'm dripping everywhere. Not me, the honey, obviously. I'm not dripping too much. No matter how hot it is, making sure we keep it as nice and clean as we can in this room. There we go. So that's a little bit too much in that one, but needs must. Never overcompensate someone that gets that. It does, Alex. It's it tastes absolutely amazing. There we go. Like I said, this is by far my favorite type of honey. As I mentioned earlier on, thank you very much for anyone popping by. Much appreciated. And like I said, if people are watching the replays of it, if you do have any questions about what we're doing, how we're doing it, why we're doing it, or beekeeping questions in general, by all means, stick them in the comments. I will get to them. Nom. It does look amazing. And like I said, if it wasn't for the fact that honey was so sticky, I really wouldn't mind this job so much. That kind of defeats one of the bits of honey. Honey is sticky and sweet. Therefore, when you're working with it, everything's going to be sticky and sweet. Speed that up a little bit so my scales to go off again. This is when it starts coming out the sides. This is what I really hate about this one. I want one of these with a massive plunger, just go shupong. Gets it in, gets it out, job done. I think last time I looked, I think the new bucket that I want to get, the bees are doing fine at the moment. I went up and checked on them the other day, and they're all still alive and all still well. The only hive, I'll be honest with you, the only hive that I'm really worried about at the moment with the heat is the bee house, because the bee house it's a really good insulating hive, and I hope they don't get too hot in there. And the other thing is as well, because of the robbing going on, and the wasps which have come out, I've had to put the entrance reducers in as well. Thankfully though, we have got the open mesh floors underneath, allowing that ventilation in. So I really, really hope they're not going to be too bad. I'm sure father-in-law or mother-in-law or someone will pop up, just make sure they're all still flying. But I'll tell you, I'll be glad to see the back of this heat. I really, really will. Like I said, bless my missus, she's what, 34 weeks pregnant now. Imagine being 34 weeks pregnant in this. It's like she's carrying basically a watermelon, watering can, what's it called? Hot water bottle, a watermelon sized hot water bottle on her all the time in a 40-degree heat wave. Bless her. I can do it. I can do it. Don't think any man could. But there we are. See, that's a conversation for another day. But yeah, the bees, as far as I know, are doing well. And the only one I'm worried about really in the heat, only with the heat, not, I've got the concerns of other bits and pieces here and there, is the bee house. And that's because of how well insulated that hive has been designed to be. Just a little bit worried it might be a little bit too insulated for this heat. But we shall see. We shall see. Right, that's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's 13 jars. This is number 14 so far, and we've still got loads to go. So like I said, this live stream is probably going to go on for quite some time, but I do need to pick up the kids at 1. Well, pick up the kids finish school and nursery at 1, so I'm going to need to get there. Treatments am I using for Varroa? I will use either the strips, so the aqua something. It's not aqua summit. They're the strips, Apivar strips, I think it is. Either those, or I use the tins, which you just take off and stick them on the top. It'll be one of those two I use. I'm not too sure which. Probably the strips, because I've had, just because they're easier to use, in my opinion. I'm not too sure at the moment. What about you? What are you using mite treatment wise? And do you check as well? How much do you do in the way of inspecting for Varroa, or do you just wing it? Interested to know what people's opinions are on that. Personally, probably shouldn't do, but I do wing it. So I treat my bees regardless every year. I'd rather play it safe than sorry. I treat them twice a year. So I treat my bees once with either the strips or the tin. I think it's Api Summit or Apigard or something like that. So the strips and the tins, I use those at the end of the summer flow. So we are probably going to have one more harvest after this, where I take all the supers off, bring them back home, extract everything, and then what we'll do is then we'll start sticking in our mite treatment, and that'll be pretty much as soon as the honey supers come off, that'll be season over for me, honey season over. Bees will then start really packing in some nectar from the ivy. Like I said before, I'm not a fan of ivy honey, so I'll close up the hives as far as honey collection goes before the ivy comes out, and at that point, that's when I'm going to be treating for mites. And then once after that, when I treat middle of winter with the it's the stuff which you can fog up. I can't remember what it's called at the moment. My mind's gone to mush. I blame the heat. That's the one, Apigard strips. That's the ones that I would normally use throughout at the end of the summer, and then during the winter I will do the drip treatment. So I'll do the bioxyl, Apibioxyl, something like that. I think it's called. You can also turn it and make it into that fogger one, but I ain't got a fogger. So I use the drips during the winter. So that'd be the two harvests, the two treatments I do. Sorry. As far as inspecting or mite counts I do, I know I should be a little bit more vigorous with my mite checking, but I've put the boards in before, and you see a few mites on there, but I'm going to treat anyway. Every year I treat. I know there's people out there which, you've got to be careful with how you treat, because it's going to build up an immunity to the Varroa mites. You've got to be careful with what you're using. You've got to be careful with how much you use and all that sort of stuff. But personally, I'm going to treat my bees anyway. I think it's just best practice to do so. And I have the boards in every now and again just to check what the mite level is or the mite count load is. But I'm going to treat at the end of the summer anyway. 9 times out of 10. I said I get asked those questions before about with the boards, how often would you have them on? Yeah, for water stuff. We're quite lucky where our bees are. We've got a stream running. It's not a stream, it's more like a little brook. We've got a brook running right behind them. And 86 off road. Howdy, my friend, hope you're well. So we've got a stream running behind them, or a little brook running behind them, I should say. And water wise, it's never really been too much of a problem. Couple of questions I get asked is regarding water. So I said, what do you do to give water to your bees? My short answer there is nothing. Bees know where to get water from, is my only opinion. This heat is a little bit different, and I probably wouldn't blame people for putting out some water trays or something like that with some stones in. It's the heat that we're getting now isn't something that we're used to, and it's not something that the UK bees would be used to either, I'm sure. But as far for normally for water, I just kind of let them go and get it. Bees know where water is; they know they're happy, and like I said, we've got a little stream which they can get from. which I'm hoping isn't dried up. But if it is dried up, there's troughs around, there's water troughs around, there's pools around, which I'm sure the neighbours love. Right, that is our first batch of jars. So I'm going to start grabbing them from behind me now. I did notice someone else popped in on the chat. I missed who that was. I apologise, but thank you so much for stopping by. And the other thing I was mentioning as well was treatment-wise. I said I get asked about water, and I get asked about treatment. And like I said, I'm probably not the best person to ask about treatment because, like I said, I treat in the summer and I treat in the winter, regardless of what the count is. And again, probably not best practice, but hey. The only treatment that I will avoid, and I've used it once, was Mite-Away quick strips. Now, I used Mite-Away quick strips in my very, very second year, might have been my first or second year, I can't remember. And the Mite-Away quick strips work brilliantly. Don't get me wrong, my complaint is not about how well the Mite-Away quick strips work. They work incredibly well. They're very, very effective. But they do cause problems with queens. From experience, they can cause the queen to go off lay. She can just cause no problems. And so I avoid Mite-Away quick strips. Plus they stink. If you ever do use Mite-Away quick strips, don't ever think, oh, let's just have a look, see what they're like. So you open the box and have a check. Whoa! You get smacked in the face with the smell of the treatment. That was a mistake that I will not be doing again. God, it's hot. It is hot. Most of this live stream is just going to be me moaning about how hot it is. It's hot. Like I say, I don't know what the conversion is over in the States or further afield, but 40 degrees is the top that we're getting, and 40, maybe even a little bit more than 40 in some places of the UK. But that's all. We're topping out. I think we're topping out around 37. I think I heard on the radio this morning. That's shocking. We should not be dealing with 37 degrees heat. But that's the way times are now, I suppose. So I was talking to, who was I talking to? I can't remember who I was talking to now. I was talking to someone. And it was about things like climate change and stuff like that. And now is this now going to be the norm? Are countries which, that don't normally get ridiculously hot going to now start getting ridiculously hot? Is that just going to be how it's going to be these days? Or is this just a freak sort of heat storm? Or are we going to get these more often? I don't know. I am not a, meteorologist. So the bucket in the gate was from Simon the Beekeeper. Simon the Beekeeper's kit is fantastic. I will never say a bad thing about Simon the Beekeeper's stuff. However, this is something that I want to replace. I'm not a massive fan of this one. Yeah, I can imagine. I said heat going up all over the place. Stay hydrated, best advice. Saying that, I'll get myself a drink in a minute. So the bucket in the gate from Simon the Beekeeper, and don't get me wrong, for someone that's not got a massive amount of extracting to do, it's a really good bit of kit. But the problem that you'll find is you can only fill it up a little bit before it starts leaking out the sides, which is incredibly annoying and gets everything sticky. And it does feel cheap, but then it is cheap compared to some of the settling tanks and the jarring tanks which you can get, which are really, really expensive. It is a lot cheaper, and therefore we expect it to not work as well as that at the end of the day. This is the only bit of kit that I really, 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 really want to replace. I don't need to replace, the extractor because that's a good one. I don't need to replace any of the boxes. I think all I need to get at the moment, I need to get some foundation, and I need to get some more. I might need to get some more honey supers, but that's pretty much it. As far as beekeeping goes at the moment, we're going to get to ourselves at around 10 hives and just kind of stop around there. But yeah, if you haven't got the kit, Alex, for extracting. By all means, Simon the Beekeeper has got some really good stuff for a good price, but just expect it not to. It's not going to blow you away. It's going to be clunky. Like I said, I think I used that expression earlier on. It's a bit clunky, but his stuff is incredibly good for the price that you're paying for it. I get quite a lot of stuff from Simon the Beekeeper, and not only is his stuff good value for money, he's also got quite a good YouTube channel as well. So enjoy that one as well. So yeah, have a look on that one. But like I said, there is better kit out there if you're willing to pay for it. I'm hoping that with the honey that I'm jarring up at the moment, that's what's going to be sunk into this. So this is going to be a new bucket, hopefully, a new jarring up bottle and bottling up kit, hopefully for next season. Hello, my sister. How are you? Hope you're well. Did you get a notification today, or did you just happen to see that I was on live? Interesting to know. Because I don't know why, but you go live or you put a video up, and even though people have got their subscribe button up and they've got the little bell icon ticks and things like that, they're not getting notifications. So I have no idea. John told me. Did John get a notification? That's the next question. Or is he is he just spending time on YouTube while you're working? Notifications just came on and seen it. Yeah, I thought you would be. Yeah, I don't know why notifications aren't working. Thank you, Alex. Appreciate that one. I don't know why notifications aren't working for everybody. It seems to be YouTube seems to be a bit hit and miss for it, if I'm honest. Because I kind of get the same. There's a few people that I watch, and sometimes their live notifications come through, sometimes their video notifications come through, and sometimes they just don't. And it's something that YouTube probably need to get sorted out. He just talks to you. He does. He's constantly on my channel thinking, what's he doing today? Yeah, he's yeah, I just don't know why. I don't know why. That's the one thing YouTube bugs me for is like I said, you're not getting the notifications and stuff like that for it. But I'm glad people can stop by anyway. I'm glad people obviously can see it and join in as and when. I should really put what's it called? Like a scheduled start. So say I'm going to go live in about an hour or so and schedule it to start in an hour. But the way my life goes, it just doesn't work like that. I'll say I'm going to start in an hour, and next week I know that I've got people waiting to go on a live stream, and I'm not even there. I'll be there in about 2 hours time because something's come up. So I don't really have to. I can't really rely on myself for doing. I'll be live in 5 hours time because it never works out that way. Never works out that way. It is, like I said earlier on, it is really nice light honey. Yeah, you too, Alex. Take care, man. The honey that we're bottling up now is from the brambles, so the blackberries, which are around our way, and it is stunning honey. This is my favorite harvest. So whenever the blackberries come out, and when this harvest is going, my summer honey harvest is always the one that I aim for. That's my big harvest. Because not only there's plenty of blackberries around, it's just so nice. The taste of it is beautiful, and also the look of it is so light and it's just delicious. Not to say that my spring harvest isn't delicious. Don't get me wrong. My spring harvest is delicious, and the bees do a grand job with that. But that is more of like a rapeseed oil, bramble sort of combination, and it's a lot darker. It doesn't go too hard or set too quickly like you'd expect with canola or rapeseed. But it's I just don't think it's as good as this one. I honestly believe that if I was selling this in a bit more business sense, shall we say, I could probably put this one up as a premium because it's just that much nicer in my opinion. But I don't work that way. I haven't put my prices up for honey this year, even though I've been advised to probably do so because everything else is going up. So my jars have gone up. My electricity has gone up, as I'm sure everyone else has gone through the same sort of problem. But I've kept it all the same. That is a lot, my friend. You are going to be busy. And I just hope the I hope the heat dies down over there, because the last thing you want to be doing is doing that much in this heat. I said we're currently sat at around 40 odd degrees in the UK. Well, I say 40 odd. I think we're closer to about 35 to 37. Forgive me, I don't know what the conversion is to Fahrenheit, but it's hot. I think it's around the hundreds. But the last thing you want to be doing is putting that much honey in the middle of a ridiculous heat wave. No, I harvested this honey. As far as getting the boxes off, I harvested this honey, must have been like a week ago, maybe a week and a bit ago. I'm sure I've got a video about it somewhere. But, and the weather wasn't too bad. It was before the heat hit us. But I tell you what, I'd hate to be out in the field at the moment. I think Black Mountain's Honey's just done a video about dealing with bees or working with bees in a heat wave, which, you know, like I said, we're going through at the moment. I haven't watched it yet. It's on my watched later list. I need to get round to that one. My opinion, best way to work with bees in a heat wave is don't work with bees. No, they're going to be grumpy. You're going to be grumpy. You're putting you at risk. You're putting everyone else at risk. I just wouldn't do it, personally. Right, I need to fill this back up again. So bear with me just a moment. I'm going to get that cleaned. I shall return. Chat amongst yourselves for a moment. Oh, we've got so much honey still to go. So I think at the moment, we've got about 123 jars. I don't think we're going to be far off filling all of them tonight. As long as I've got time. I really don't. We have got a lot of honey here still. Let's get that one. Forgive me if anyone put any comments on that one. My video kind of takes away the chat after a couple of seconds, so I miss it. So if I just missed a comment, I apologise. By all means, stick it up again. But yeah, I think we're going to fill these. But yeah, like I said, as far as dealing with bees in a heat wave or in the heat, I don't know if it's worth it. And if I'm honest, let's just give them some time off, let them do the thing. And like I said, the last thing that I want to be doing is standing in the middle of a field with very little shade, with, you know, however many bees it is flying around me, they're all grumpy. You're not going to be working your best. They're not going to be at their best. Give them a couple of days. The flowers are on at the moment, so if that's going, we shouldn't get swarming. Famous last words. So let's just leave them to it and let them get on. That's the one lesson which I've learned mainly through beekeeping, from when I first started, and that was when you obviously go in there, you do your inspections and all that sort of stuff. But how often do you inspect? How often do you mess about with your bees? As little as often, if I'm honest. It's the best way we can answer that. Time here now is 11:37 a.m. So we are almost midday. And like I said, I've got to pick my kids up at 1. They finish nursery. The nursery and school are finishing early. 6:38 a.m. here. What day is it there? That sounds like a really random question because I'm assuming it's still today. But today's Tuesday, and I'm assuming it's Tuesday as well because I can never work out time differences. Thank you for joining us this early. Join us jarring some honey, having some chats whilst eating your breakfast. Sounds fantastic. That's how I'd like to spend my day. I haven't even had breakfast yet. Oh. But yeah, we've got to pick up the same Tuesday. I don't know why that took me so difficult to work out. Is it now Wednesday in Australia? Does it work that way? I'm sure it is. It's got to be. So it's Tuesday that way, Wednesday that way. I get very confused. I'm a simple person, very, very simple person. Just ask my wife, or if my sister was still in my chat, I'm sure she would. Yeah, it is. I thought so. My sister would agree that I am a very simple person, and I get confused by things very, very easily. So that is. How many jars have we got now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Stop talking. I can't help it. Once I get going, just get going. I know I embarrass myself, and my I should stop talking while I'm ahead, and people just I get confused easily. I'm a simple man from Wiltshire. Nice simple moonraker over here. Right, we've got loads of money. I said my skills of geography aren't that much better, in all fairness. We had to go over. I spoke to people before about obviously what happened and why we had to go over to Spain. All the best to you, my friend. Thank you for stopping by. We had to go over to Spain, and I spoke to people a while ago. And the first time I realised Benidorm was in Spain was when I drove past the sign, or when we were in the airport. So we were in the airport, and there was a sign saying Benidorm. I genuinely thought that Benidorm was a little place in England by the south coast. Generally thought it, but that was a bit of a shock. And yes, it is Wednesday tomorrow. I need to remember it's Wednesday tomorrow. I need to remember it's Wednesday tomorrow because Riley's with me, which is my youngest. Yeah, I know. It's I should have known better, but my excuse is I took history at school. I didn't take geography, so I'm going to stick with that. I know bees, so as long as I know bees, then I'm a happy man. But yeah, geography is not my best. But that's how we like it. So what was I saying before we moved on to that subject? I brought up costs. That was one thing I mentioned. So my costs for my jars, I sell my honey at £5 per jar, and that's for an 8-ounce jar, which is 227 grams, I believe. And I've kept them at £5, even though absolutely everything has gone up in price. Anything from, from carrots all the way up to castles. Everything has gone up in price. And I was advised to put my prices of my jars up as well, because the electric's gone up, which obviously we use to extract, because the cost of the actual jars themselves have gone up. In order for me to profit, I need to put my prices up. But I've said before now, and I'm not really in it for profits. This is just, if I can make some money from the honey, some money honey, or honey money, then all I can do is I can sink that back into the bees themselves. So I'm not really here for profit. So the last thing I want to do is, people that have been buying honey from me for years, for £5 a jar, or for ages for £5 a jar, I then have to stick it up and say, yeah, because my costs have gone up, yours have got to go up. I said, why don't people just have a little thing? Just have a little thing that they can enjoy at the same price as they paid last year, which is what we are doing with our honey. So we do £5 a jar, which is, to be honest, one of the lower prices we actually have around here. I went up to, I've seen honey for 8 ounces, so 227 grams. I've seen it sold around here anywhere up to 8, and I think £8 for a jar of honey this size. I think that's pushing it. But the thing is, it sells. So, where's my business sense at the end of the day? Probably go in the same place as my geography. So I want to keep the prices of everything the same, and I'm only really looking to make money to put it back into the bees. But at the same time, I'll say this as well, we aren't needing to buy much more. So the next thing that we're looking to purchase is, we are looking to replace this bottling jar and this honey gate. So that's the next thing we want to look at replacing, which I think I've mentioned at least once, probably several. And then the next thing we're going to be moving on to is, we're going to be moving on to the vineyard. Now, I'm incredibly excited about getting the vineyard up and running. I ain't doing nothing about it now because it's incredibly hot out there, as I've mentioned as well. And I'm not going out there in this heat if I don't have to. So the vineyard is what I'm really looking forward to putting up. Just a couple of posts up, some wire down. We're going to let some grapes grow up. Obviously, we're not going to get grapes for a few years, but that's going to be a nice little extension to the yards. And it also uses up some space, because I said originally I wanted that bit of land to have anywhere up to 30 to 40 hives on, or 30 hives, I should say, because that's probably going to be a max that I can fit there. But with the family life that we've got at the moment, I just can't manage much more than what I've got at the moment. It's just crazy. So I want to use up some space in order to use up some of the grass and just do something else. We are going to put some wildflower down there as well, because I know we had a vote a little while back now about what should we do. Should we do vineyards? Should we do grass? Should we do meadows? What should we do? And it was a pretty even split between vineyards and the wildflower. I did also have an option, which was do a vineyard and a wildflower, but that didn't get many votes. I'm a bit surprised by that. So we're going to be putting down the vineyards, hopefully, I want to say around autumn. I'm going to get that built. I was hoping going to get that built and sorted out pretty soon, but I'm hoping we're going to have that done around the autumn time. And at the same sort of time, I don't know when I can plant wildflower, but I want to get it all dug up, the wildflower put in, the vineyard put in, everything growing, to go alongside the apple trees that we've got going at the moment, which are producing incredibly well, which, fingers crossed, they're going to produce even more in the next coming years. And we can start moving on to looking at things like they're making some cider, apple juice, and all that sort of stuff, as well as obviously using those apples at home just as eating. So that's the plan going forward, to go with vineyards, wildflower, honeybees, and also a nice big shed down there as well. Once that's in, then I think, as far as we know, that's going to be it, up until at least my what is now not yet born daughter is with us. So until I reckon she's in school, I reckon we need to keep the hive to the number that we're at. I just do not think we're going to be able to manage much more than what we have at the moment. But we'll see. We'll see. And then when she's at school, we can expand a little bit. The kids are really, really excited to get involved. So happy days. That's where we're going to go there. So we've nearly filled one slab of jars, which is 41 jars. So we've nearly filled 41 jars so far, and we've still got well over half a bucket full of honey, not including what I've got in there. So what I've got behind me is I've got a bigger version of this, basically, without the honey gate on. And what we do, settle it in there, decant it, I think that's the right word, decant it into this one, and then we'll jar it out from there. So we've still got loads. I think we can do, well, we're easily going to get up to 100, I reckon. Oh, crap. Did I just swear? I'm not sure if I did. If I did swear, I apologise. I apologise if I've just sworn. I'm sure there's not many people that would be too offended by it, but if there is, I am sorry. That was a big jar of honey. That was 235 grams, I think, that one. So whoever gets that one, I hope you enjoy that one. I do need to get a couple of these jars labelled up as well, because I've got my kids' nursery are doing like a tombola raffle sort of thing, and I love being able to give some of it away as well. So I'll give it away to a reasonably good cause, very good cause, reasonably good cause, very good cause. Raising some money for the nursery, which my boy goes to, and it's a really big thing for the village. So I'm going to get a couple of jars labelled up today, not as well as my wife can label. She labels brilliantly, and I'm going to give them up to them as well. So if the opportunities do arrive for me to be able to get these put into things like summer fete tombolas, or raffles or things like that, and you just donate a couple, especially if it's in my town, or in the town or in the village where the bees are as well. I just think it's nice to have that little connection to everyone as well. So although we're going to have about 100 jars, I'll probably sell about, I want to say about 70 of them, and then the rest of them will probably be given away to various summer fates, raffles, tombolas, all that sort of stuff. So that's something I like doing as well. It's just a little bit extra in it. God, I talk for England. I just realised it gets to the point when you're an hour into the live stream and your voice is starting to go. God, I talk so much. hope someone's listening. Just chatting to myself, chatting nonsense to myself. To be honest, I chat every day at work. I chat nonsense, so it's quite nice chatting nonsense about things that I'm passionate about. I would say I'm passionate about my job, but I'm not really. Job is a means to the end, but I am passionate about this, so that's why I can talk for England about it. And I said the other thing I enjoy doing is YouTube. Thank you, sister. I appreciate it. I'm chatting to hopefully you and John in the background there. That's the people that are watching at the moment, is you and John. Appreciate it. It's nice to be able to talk about, even if I am just talking to myself, or in this case, to my sister. It's nice to chat about something that I am very passionate about. I love working with the bees. Whoa, 234, 241. Stop chatting. Concentrate on what you're doing. You fool. Oh, dear me. Another massive one there. There we go. Oh, I calm myself down a little bit. Right. So I when you get something that you are passionate about and you really, really enjoy doing, you can just chat with For England about it. Separate YouTube accounts, mind. Oh, yes, that's appreciated. That's appreciated. That's a couple of viewers going on. So don't forget to like the stream if you haven't already. Much appreciated. Like the stream, share the stream, comment on the stream, all that sort of stuff. Supports the algorithm. YouTube's not been too bad for me, I should say, recently. There's been a couple of people have picked up my channels which have just been suggested for them, or coming on one of my lives, and seen my live from another video, or as a suggested video or something like that. So YouTube's not been too bad for me on the algorithm recently, which is brilliant. Absolutely chuffed to bits with that. Why is she telling me my shopping list is empty? Not too sure. I don't say her name because she'll start talking to me. There we go. That's a better one. Oh, I run out of space for the honey. Running out of space for the honey. Yeah, I'm sure I was saying something a minute ago. Oh yeah, YouTube. It's been really good for the algorithm recently. Like I said, my channel has been suggested to quite a lot of people recently, and it's great because, like I said, more people get to see the amazing work of the honeybees. Not necessarily me. I'm just here chatting nonsense, but the amazing work that the honeybees can see is much, much appreciated. And then this is what we get from the end of it. And this is only the first. Well, we've got the honey, which we'll be doing, and then in the winter, it is going to be my favorite job, which is the wax work. I love working with wax. That's by far my favorite job with beekeeping. I like inspecting and all that sort of stuff, but my favorite job is working with wax, turning it into candles and all that sort of stuff. I mentioned earlier on, any beekeepers which are watching this, what is your least favorite job? I've already said mine is working with honey because it's so sticky. But what is your favorite job? Like I said, my favorite job is working with the wax. So processing the wax from start all the way through into getting it into turning it into candles as well. I said I've done a video about my method of making candles. I think that's a little way back now. Not too sure how long ago I did that video. But my method of making candles is it's not anything. It's nothing sophisticated. It's me with a pile of wax and a couple of tin cans, really. That's how we make candles. But candle making and wax work is my favorite job of beekeeping. Like I said, enjoy the inspecting, enjoy looking after the bees. Everything else is kind of all right. But wax work, that is my favorite. Honey work, that is my least favorite. How many jars am I doing? Well, I've got 123 jars altogether, which I've purchased. I've almost filled 41 of them so far, and I've still got, without swearing again, loads to fill up. I've got the bucket. I've got a bucket behind me, which is where I'm filling this bucket from, which is not even halfway empty yet. And we've done 41 jars. So I reckon we're going to be pushing anywhere between, I reckon we're going to be getting anywhere between 80 to 150 jars out of this harvest, which is massive. And this is only my second harvest. I'm going to have one more after this as well when we're closing up shop for the year. So we're going to be swimming in this stuff. Not that I recommend swimming in honey to anyone. Yes, yeah, I'm pretty sure this is the best harvest from this one. Oh, this is the best harvest we've had so far. And this, like I said, we've got the hives are producing so well at the moment. It's incredible. So yeah, so this is our best harvest so far to date. And I reckon we're going to get close to, well, and the fact that this is our second harvest as well. So this is, if we get another 120 jars, give or take today, we've already had 60. So that would make us to 180 jars, give or take one or two, because my maths is rubbish. And then we've got one more to go. So I gave myself an estimate earlier on. I gave myself an estimate earlier on in the year that we were going to be getting anywhere between 250 to 500 jars. And I was well over egging that. But I don't think I'm going to be too far off this year now. It does look lush. The honey that we've got, like I said, at the moment is the brambles, the blackberries and all that sort of stuff. And compared to our spring harvest, which our spring harvest is from mainly from the canola. There you go. However, you can still a bit of flow left in the Wiltshire. Andre, I believe it's pronounced. Nice to meet you. Hope you're well, my friends. Weather is hot. That's probably the best thing I can say. So we're up to about 40 degrees at the moment. Actually, no, we're not. Wiltshire's down to about 36. It's top this today. Flow-wise, we're going to have, I would reckon, my main flow comes from the blackberries. And that's where all this has come from, which I was just chatting about. And I reckon, if I'm being honest, we've got about another 2 weeks, give or take, I would say, of a reasonable flow going. We cut off pretty much when all the ivy comes out. When all the ivy comes out, we pretty much cap it all and close up shop for honey-wise. So I reckon we have got a bit of a flow left. Maybe about 2 weeks is what my gut feeling is telling me at the moment. And like I was just saying there, we've got 100. If all of these fill, which I'm pretty confident they will, I reckon so far we'd have had 180 jars, and with one more harvest still to go. This is looking to be our best honey year ever. 109. Wow. Our new land. That's, firstly, thank you for stopping by. I appreciate you doing so. Can someone tell me what 109 is in Celsius? So what is 109 in Celsius? Because we're working at so we're at about 36, anywhere between 36 to 40 in the UK at the moment, and I think that's around 100, 42. So 100. Is that a normal sort of temperature over there in Texas? Because I can't even imagine living in temperatures like that. That's shocking. We've had 2 days of 36, 37. And so the whole country's coming to a standstill. No one's going out. The railways are all saying we can't go because everything's falling apart. Our roads are melting. It's ridiculous over here. But this country's not used to it, I suppose. That's the one thing that we need to take away from this, is the fact that if people are over in, like you said, over in Texas, down in Australia and all that sort of stuff, the temperatures of 100, I assume is more norm for you, or 109 is more norm for you, whereas it's not for us. But yeah, thank you for stopping by. I really, really appreciate it. I did miss a comment as well. Let me just touch my phone. Andre, thank you, Andre. I'm glad I got your name right. it is incredibly hot. So let's put it that way. But I would not recommend going out doing it at the moment. Your bees are going to be grumpy. So leave them to it. Yeah, we're going down the jarring process. Like I said, this was all taken about 2 weeks ago, I want to say. And then normally a bit under 100 here for the entire year. Last year we only hit 100 3 times. I do not know how people cope with temperatures like that. I really don't. I'm used to, I'm quite happy. Actually, I say I'm quite happy. I am most happiest when it's raining. I can deal with rain. Give me rain. Give me not so much cold, but give me rain any day of the week. Around about, I don't know, let's say about 16 degrees. I'm happy with that. I'm not a sun worshipper. And the alarm is going off. Ooh. There we go. So yeah, I'm nowhere near a sun worshipper. I'd much rather be sat in the middle of a rainstorm than sat outside in a sunbed. But obviously, at the same time you have that, if it's raining all the time, you can't do your bees. But yeah, I'm not. I generally don't know how people manage to do it or live in so much heat. Really, really don't. Hats off to you, or not hats off to you. You want to be keeping them on, but it's not for me. Keep me in the rain. But then again, it's what you're used to, isn't it? We're in the UK. We get rain most days of the year, I suppose. But yeah, that's hot. But yeah, we're definitely at the jarring up stage. I'm pretty sure most of the YouTubers now, the beekeeping YouTubers, are jarring at the moment. If I'm wrong, I apologize, but I'm pretty sure most of the big beekeepers are at least getting their honey rooms up and running and going again. I haven't watched anything from the Canadian Beekeepers blog recently. I used to watch that religiously, but I just haven't watched it for ages, just haven't had the time. And I really enjoy watching his honey room in full swing. But he is also he's a commercial beekeeper. That's his job basically. And I love watching the honey flow in motion over there. I haven't seen if he's started doing anything. I can only assume that he is, but again, I'm not too sure what the whoever's doing over in Canada. I have no idea. Right, give me a second. I need to fill this up again. Like I said, chat amongst yourselves for a moment. I was hoping to get all this done before the kids get home. That's not going to happen. So I reckon I'm probably going to have to stop the live in a bit. Go and get the kids. I've got another half hour, 40 minutes. Go and get the kids. Now, will I be able to resume a live afterwards? 2 kids running around. Don't think I'm going to be able to. So this might be a shorter live than I was hoping, purely because of the fact that I have still got quite a lot of honey to go, and I want to get it jarred. I want to get it done. Or should I just save it for another day? I've got all this. Is it going to be easier just to keep all them in the bucket than it's to keep them in the jars? I don't know. But it seems to be going well at the moment. But yeah, I've got no idea what I was chatting about just a minute ago. Weather, probably. It's hot. But thank you again for everybody that is stopping by. Thank you for everyone that is liking the stream. Thank you for everyone that has shared and commented and all that sort of stuff. It's massively appreciated. It really is. We are, as I think I said earlier on, we have just hit...
I had trouble doing what you asked. What would you like to do?
Let's just stop Alexa. She has a go at me. I've just hit over my 700 subscriber mark, which is massive. Absolutely massive. 700 subscribers. I mean, last check was 701, which is huge for us, and it's massively appreciated. Every single one of you guys which is stopping by, watching the channel, subscribing to the channels, and all that sort of stuff. So our goal this year, thank you, Andre, appreciate it. Our goal this year, if we could say it was a goal, was to hit 700 subscribers. And we've managed to hit it. So we are over the moon. The other thing we managed to do as well was hit over our 50,000 view mark. 50,000 views on my videos, which is a huge number. It's a number I can't even imagine. Obviously, I can see it. I know how many numbers is in 50,000, but it's just a massive number. So thank you so much. I had a look on our Instagram the other day. Our Instagram, we looked at it from last year, October. That was it. We had a look at October last year, and we had just nipped over the 320 mark in October 21. So the fact that we've now managed to hit 700 in July of 22, the channel was growing really well. Don't get me wrong, I'm not a channel which has grown from 0 to 20,000 in 6 months like some channels do, but it's just me with some bees with some unedited videos. So I personally think we've done really well, and it's thanks to you guys which are watching, subscribing, and all that sort of stuff. So thank you very much if I haven't said it already. Where are we at now? So we've almost finished. Actually, I think we have finished. That's one slab of jars done. So that's 41 jars done and done. We're going to start moving on to our next box. So let's move that. So we're now into box 2 of jars. There we go. So box 2. So this, after this one, that would take us up to about, well, that would take us to 82. I am going to fill these ones. I'm pretty confident we're going to fill every single jar that we bought and then some. So I am incredibly impressed with how the girls have done this year. Really, really impressed. I said that's what I was saying earlier on. That's what I was saying earlier on. I gave an assumption, or I reckoned, someone could tell me what word I mean, thought that we were going to get anywhere between 250 to 500 jars of honey, and I really thought that I was pushing it. I thought let's just say we're going to get that, get a little bit less. That's not too much of a problem. It's a good sort of ballpark figure, and I genuinely thought I'd over-edged it by loads. But from the harvest that I've taken now, and from the harvest that I've taken already, plus the fact that we've got one more harvest to go, it's going to be amazing. Treating my hives. Because you live in the same country, it would be a nice reference for me. Okay, so treating my hives. I treat my hives twice a year. I treat my hives once in the summer, where I will use the Apigard, or however it's pronounced, the strips or the little tins you can get the tops ripped off. I will use that at the middle of August sort of time normally, so it's end of summer. So I will remove every single one of my honey supers within the next few weeks, 3 or 4 weeks, maybe 3 weeks-ish. And then towards the end of August, what I'll do is I'll do my first summer mite treatment. Once I've done my mite treatment there, I will then do another one around Christmas, anywhere between Christmas and middle of January. I'll do 2 mite treatments. Best practice, if you are new to beekeeping and not a lazy beekeeper like myself, would be to have a check on what your mite count will be. Then it will advise whether or not you need to treat or not. Personally, I treat twice a year regardless. I said once at the end of summer and once at the end of or the middle of winter. So they're my 2 times that I would mite treat, and that's for the varroa. Everything else, all the other pests and parasites and diseases you should be checking for in your inspections. You just keep an eye on them as you're doing them. But Andre, where did you say you're from, my friend? Sorry, did you say you're Wiltshire as well? Nice to have a winter treatment. I use, I think it's pronounced, hey, nice to know, just down the road, literally just down the road from you. So I would use for winter treatment, I think it's pronounced apibioxal, I think it's pronounced like that. I can't for the life remember of me. And I would do, I do the dribble technique. If you have no idea what that is, I've got a video about it earlier on in my channel somewhere. However, if you basically mix some apibioxal with some sugar syrup, and you would kind of like just squirt it into the frames. So you take the roof off, squirt it in, close them up again. And that's done in winter. The best way of doing it is, in my opinion, would be using the fogger technique. So using apibioxal again, put it on a fogger, stick that in the front of your hives. That would be the best way in my opinion, but I haven't got a fogger, which is why I use the dribble technique. But yeah, either way, both done it. That one's done in the winter. East Sussex Bees and Wildlife. Thank you for stopping by, guys. Hope you're well and enjoying the videos. Ta, how are your bees in this heat? Firstly, thank you so much for enjoying the videos. I'm glad there are people out there that do. And my bees are doing, as far as I know in the heat, they are doing well. The only hive, I think I mentioned this earlier on in the stream, the only hive that I am really worried about as far as the heat goes is the bee house. Because the bee house is designed to keep, well, it's one which is really good at insulation, and it's really, really good, and they overwinter well in the bee house. From what I know, obviously I've not experienced it myself because it's my first winter with the bee house. So I'm a little bit worried that they're going to be quite warm in there. The other problem that I have is that with all of our hives, because robbing season is upon us and the wasps are out in force, I have put on the entrance reducers on every single one of my hives, and obviously a little bit worried that they might get a little bit stuffy in there, obviously with the front blocked up quite a bit. However, we do use open mesh floors. We don't use hard floors. We haven't got the mic count board, the Marora board in. So we have got, like I said, the open mesh floor, which should allow quite a bit of ventilation in, and I'm just hoping they're going to be fine. They should be fine. I said they are bees. They do live outside and all that sort of stuff. But I'll go up there just when I can, and I'll check them over just to make sure they're okay. But yeah, so very hot, very, very hot. So yeah, the bee house is the only one I'm worried about really at the moment. But like I said, we will see how they get on. If you have just joined us, thank you very much. If you have liked the stream, shared the streams and all that sort of stuff, thank you so much. As always, it's massively appreciated. We are going to be streaming probably for another 20 minutes or so on this jarring session. Reason being is because my kids are finishing school and nursery early. So they're finishing at 1 o'clock today. And it's currently 10 past or 12 minutes past. And I need to go and pick them up, which I can't get them walking back from where they go to school. Not that old. And it's a bit quite a way actually. I couldn't make them walk back. It's a bit mean. Plus one's only 4, one's 6, so it's pretty irresponsible if I let a 4-year-old walk back along the main roads by himself. So I'll have to come again. So I'll probably be streaming, like I said, for another 20 minutes or so. I haven't decided whether or not I'm going to do all of the rest of the honey on a live or not on a live. I haven't decided yet. All I was concentrating on is getting this first batch done. I was hoping to get all of this done, but there was a lot more honey than I anticipated, which is never, I'm never going to grumble about having honey. I'm never going to grumble about having more honey to jar up. That would just be foolish of me. So yeah, so I'm not too sure yet what I'm going to do as far as the next live will be. I'm also not too sure when it will be. Like I said, either depends how my kids behave themselves. I might even be able to start up another stream later on, or I do a stream tomorrow. I just haven't decided. That honey looks great. Will you be feeding bees over the winter, or are you leaving plenty of stores? Peter, thank you, Peter, for the question. So what we will do over winter is we stop harvesting, or we don't take any of the ivy crop. So all of our honey supers come off after the blackberries have gone. So they can basically go out and they can forage and they can get as much of the ivy honey which they can pump away and store into the hive as they want. We do feed. So I will feed as soon as the mite treatment is done. So that will be end of August. I think our mite treatment takes 6 weeks. So once those 6 weeks have passed, then we start pumping them full of sugar. And then they can, so we make it some sugar syrup and they can take as much of that as they want. And then just as an insurance policy, I suppose, in the way, is we stick some fondant on. So around Christmas time, I will stick a block of fondant on each one of the hives. And I don't think any of them have ever gone through a whole fondant pack, but it's just a bit of insurance more than anything. So I could probably not worry about feeding at all, if I'm honest, because of the amount of ivy that they can take and the amount of ivy that they can put away. So I could probably get away without feeding, but I'd rather be safe than sorry. You know, I never take too much. I never take too much honey from the girls. At the end of the day, it's their food at the end of the day, and I fully respect that, and I fully respect that this is bee food, and I understand why some people don't like beekeeping because we're taking food away from the bees, but I will only ever take away surplus honey, and I will always make sure that they have got enough to go out and forage and fill up their own honey or brew boxes and things like that when they go into winter, but I will feed as well just to give them that extra. And like I said, I'll give them that insurance policy with some fondant as well. So yeah, so that we do feed. I hope that answers your question, my friends. I'm just going to fill this up again. So 2 moments. Shout out yourselves once again. Oh. I filled that one up a bit much. That's probably going to leak. Yeah, that's going to leak. That's going to leak. So yeah, so I've just seen the bottom of my other tub. So as long as I'm careful, I don't waste too much of this leaking. I said the problem that I have with this honeygate, you can't see squat there. The problem that I have with this honeygate, there you go. Oh, you can't stand up that way. Sorry about that. The problem that I have with this honeygate, I'll bring it that way, is that it does leak out the sides quite badly. And that's a nightmare. So I don't normally fill this tub up too much. Unless the views that you're getting, at the moment you're just getting the jar in, or the golden stuff coming out of the bucket. Unfortunately, I've lost my tripod, which will allow you to have a better view. Really well in 4 years. You have done really well in 4 years. Thank you, man. Would you have done anything different? I hope Doggo is too hot. So we've got both dogs. We've got Frank, who is a pug, and Dexter, who is a Jack Russell. Both of them are crashed out in front of the fan in the living room at the moment. They ain't going nowhere anytime soon, but they're doing well. So would I have done anything different in the last 4 years? That's a really good question. Would I have done anything different? So the only thing that I would have done differently, and this is going to be a difficult one because every new beekeeper will do this, or make what I'm going to class as a mistake in their first year, maybe first 2 years, and that's getting into the hives too often and panicking about them too often. I lost sleep over some of my hives on some occasions because I was like, oh no, what's happened? And the biggest thing I did, and the biggest mistake that I think that I've made, which I would have not done, is gone into the hives as often as I did. I was, obviously don't get me wrong, you do your 7 to 10 day inspections, absolutely fine. But if I was up where the bees were, and bear in mind, where the bees are, I can't visit just off the cuff sort of thing. I have to actually be in the area to check on them. If I was up that way, I'd go down there and think, oh, they look a little bit quiet, open the lid up, take things off, look this, that, and the other, and just disturb them unnecessarily. So the one thing that I would not have done if I was starting again, is spend as much time unnecessarily disturbing the hives. Leave them to it. They know what they're doing. They're happy. That would be probably the one thing that I would do differently. I don't think I'd do anything else differently, if I'm honest. I think for how we started, bear in mind, we started with one hive back in 2018, I think it was now. So we started with one hive, which is Abbey. And we bought a nuke which was 6 frames. We had one hive. And it was great. It was all running really well, and I was chuffed to bits of it. And then we grew, and then we grew, and then we grew, and we've just split and split and split. One of our hives at the moment is a swarm, which we call, which is Summer, which I can't for the life of me remember which hive that is, but I'll find out one day. So Summer is the only swarm that we've actually caught. The rest of them have been splits from Abby. So Abby has gone into Brenda. Brenda has split into Cindy. Cindy and Daisy have come about, and then they've all come from there. So I personally don't think that I would have done anything differently, if I'm honest. I'm chuffed with where we've come, or where we are from where we've come from, and I'm chuffed to bits with that. So how long have you been beekeeping for, guys? It's always interesting to know how long people have been beekeeping for, who I'm chatting to, because I still don't consider myself a very good beekeeper, and I don't want to sound over dramatic when I say that, but I've been beekeeping for about 4 years. You say 4 years, and I'm no way near do I know everything, no way near, and there's still things that I do now which is completely wrong. I'm sure it's completely wrong, and if you speak to somebody that's been in the game for a lot longer than me, they would do things a lot different. But it's all a learning curve, you know? So I can only best give my opinions and stuff like that. I don't ever take what I say as almost as a teaching sort of experience, because that's not the channel that I want to be. I tried that, I failed miserably. Since April, yeah. Since April, I know loads. Since you've got a lot to learn, my friend, but it's a good way to enjoy it. You really, you get into it and you love it. So I'm not so much. I don't want to be a teacher of beekeeping. I can give general points about what we do and how we do it and when we do it, but I will be telling you from what I do, not necessarily from what the book says to do. And I think there's one things that people do watch beekeeping YouTubing videos. What, 240 grams? That's going to enjoy that jar. If people don't watch YouTubing videos, there are some out there which are trying to teach, and the problem is, unless you are learning from the right kind of person, you can get all sorts of duff advice. So by all means, enjoy the videos, watch the videos, and all that sort of stuff. Just take what I say as almost like a guide, shall we say. This is how I do it. This is how I find it works. Guide yourselves about it. There was a channel that I watched a few years ago. I can't remember who it was now, but they've been beekeeping for like a week, and then the week afterwards, so they did like a ask us a question. Ask us a question, we'll answer how we do it. But it was in like a teaching sort of way. You've got the likes of Black Mountain Honey, and Lawrence is amazing. I can watch his videos for ages. And if you're going to learn from someone, you learn from someone like that who is good at what they do and good at teaching, I should say. Because I've learned a lot from him. Try not to learn from someone that's been doing it a week, because you're not going to get the best advice. Like I said, I'm not the most experienced beekeeper, and I'm by far, I wouldn't say I'm the best beekeeper. I do things which work for us. And as you can see by, we're now up to, we've almost filled 80 jars of honey. The honey's going good. All the hives are well, and they're all good. Never read a book about beekeeping. I was watching beekeeping videos for 2 years, even your channel, thank you, my friend, before I made the decision. So around 5 to 10 videos a day. So, yeah, so as far as YouTube videos go, like I said, it's such a broad sort of subject where so many people do things differently. and you need to make sure you pick your sources from the right people. I love the fact that people watch my channels. I love the fact that people can get something from my channels, but I can give you a guide and I can tell you what I do. It works enough for us in our area. So given obviously you're just up the road from me, it'll probably work for you too. But like I said, if you want to learn beekeeping rather than just being, I hope, entertained by me, there's some bigger names out there than my channel. And I've got a feeling, the comment which I've just missed, so 20 years? Is that 20 years experience in beekeeping? Sorry, it's just my phone there. So almost 20 years, but I'm about to lost and did many. I've had one swarm this year. They're doing well. I'm still learning. Bees can do very unusual. Yes, they can. And that 20 years is a massive amount of time. So I can only imagine the sort of knowledge which you yourselves have got when it comes down to beekeeping. And yeah, that's amazing. But the one thing that a massive thing to learn is that bees don't read the books. Bees have never read a book in their life. And although you read the books, you watch videos, and this is what they should do, guarantee you they won't. They'll do something completely different. You know, when they're going through the requeening stage, or when they're going through the swarming stage, and things like that. You've read a book, you've watched the YouTube videos, you've watched, whoa, 250 grams. That's a nice jar. Sorry, whoever missed out a little bit. So yeah, so watch the I forgot what I'm saying now. Thrown off by that. What was I saying? I'll come back to me in a minute. So yeah, so they don't read books. The bees do not read books, whether or not it's going through the requeening process or the swarming process or things like that. You've got to kind of be prepared to not forget what you know, but adapt to what you know at a drop of a hat sometimes. Because they don't read the books. They do things which, not that they're not meant to, but just, well, they're not meant to actually, in all fairness. According to the books and the lessons and all that sort of stuff, they're not meant to do that. Why are they doing that? The book says they're not meant to, but they do. They are bees. They are wild. They do what they want at the end of the day. So just be prepared that if you are beekeeping, either a new beekeeper or experienced beekeeper, however long you've been doing it for, just prepare yourself to that they change the rules. They do things differently. Yeah, 20 years, that's amazing. We've caught no swarms this year. No swarms this year. I haven't even been called out to a swarm this year. The best that we had was that one of our own hives swarmed. I can't remember which one it was now, but one of our own hive swarm, and we were there and we caught it. We watched it as it happened, basically. And I think I did a video about this one as well, but again, I can't remember. So the bees swarmed, we were there, we watched them go around. They landed in a bonfire just outside of where their enclosure is. And they basically clustered there. I got a box, got it all there already. I thought I had a new swarm. But then what they did is they flew back from their box to their original hive. I was like, what are you doing that for? What are you doing that for? You said you're supposed to stay here. But no, they decided to do that. So that's the only kind of contact I've had with a swarm this year. It was only from my own. Although I am fully aware that it has been a very swarmy year for a lot of people. Thankfully, not us so much. 27, that's better. That's in a 30. These are big jars. If I'd done these jars properly, I would have got another dozen out of them. But what I think I'm going to have to do, if this is going to be a regular sort of harvest, a regular sort of size harvest for us from now on in the summer, I think I'm going to have to start getting some bigger jars. Because 8-ounce jars, although they're the most convenient and they sell really well, 8-ounce jars. I say I do my jars for £5 a jar. It does take a long time to fill up. We've got, I've probably got in the bucket, I've probably still got enough for another 20 jars, maybe 30 jars. So this is going to do probably half of the slab which we're working on now, which will take us up to 60 something. And then run that space. Kitchen is filling up with honey. Sticking to everything. Ah! Right. So yeah, so we've probably got enough of that. So I'm probably next year, if this is going to be a norm harvest, I'm probably going to start getting bigger jars. Just because it just takes forever, doesn't it? So we've been streaming now for 1 hour and 35 minutes. And I don't think I've taken a breath yet. Voice is going. So what I'll do is I'll probably finish this bucket. And then I'll probably call that a day for today as far as YouTube goes. I will also probably finish the rest of this, not as a live stream. Purely because of the fact I don't think it would be live that long. I think it would be live about 20 minutes, if that. And I like making the most of my live streams. I'm going to do one, I'm going to do one properly. But I don't use... I use the YouTube live function rather than using something like... is it StreamYard? I think a lot of people are using at the moment. So I'm using the YouTube function. So I don't think I can panel up and all that sort of stuff, which isn't, it's not really something that I'm too interested in having done anyway. I'd rather just sit here and chat to you lovely folk. God, so hot in here. Yeah, we'll probably give that another 10 minutes-ish. And then I will go and get the kiddos from school and nursery. Yeah, that's good. But yeah, as I mentioned a few times already in the stream, thank you so much for everyone that is watching. Thank you for everyone that has commented in there, taken part in the stream. Always appreciated. Love chatting to people. And also massive thank you for the likes on the stream as well. So much, much appreciated. Yeah, let's go. 2, 3, 5. Oh, massive jar again. You see, you can hear the stickiness as well. The honey's starting to get on my gloves. There we go. Yeah, if I had a better sort of bucket and honey gate and things like that, I could probably make this a lot more effective. But I really don't do this the most effective way at the moment, I'm sure. Hopefully soon we'll have something better. Which reminds you, I've still got to label a couple up and take them up to the nursery. I'll get to it. I'll get to it. Flying through now. That was 2 jars done in like 30 seconds. If I've been doing that all the way through, I'd have this done in no time. But wouldn't have had as much time to chat to you lovely people. So the next purchases for bees is definitely going to be something to help with the extraction process. 2, 18, 24, 27. There you go. Oh, so warm. So warm. Whoa, look at that drippage. Too much drippage. Let's get that one done as well. So I think I'm going to have one more jar in this. I've got to tip it anyway when it gets to this low, because otherwise it's can't get over the thing. So I think I'm going to have one more jar. And then we're probably going to call it a day for today with the YouTube. One more jar. I'm going to need a jar for that, aren't I? One more like this. Yeah, if this was a normal day and the kids would have been at school, I would have got all this finished. I would have done like a 2.5 hour live stream. But here's what it is. I think I'm going to get one more jar out of this one. It's quite heavy. Stuck. Last one. Leaves me with about 40 jars. Actually, what about 60 jars left to fill? So that's not bad, is it? So at the moment we've had 60 jars from our first harvest. We've had 60 jars almost, well, we've got to be closer to 70 now out of our second harvest, and we still have one harvest to go. And let's face it, I'm not being very accurate with the 227 for my for my actual honey jars. Each of these jars is supposed to have 227 grams in, which is what we sell our honey as. However, I think each one is closer to about 230 to 240. So yeah, so I'm hopefully I'm not being too shy with the amount of honey I'm giving people. This is definitely gonna be our last one. I don't even know if I'll get a full one out of this. Come on. No, we're not going to get a full one out of that. I'm going to leave that there dripping for a little bit, and I'll flip that one out when I get home. So that is going to be it for today. Let's remove the gloves. Thank you so much to everybody that has joined us. Thank you to everyone that is still here. Thank you to everyone that has liked the stream, commented on the stream, shared the stream, and all that sort of stuff. We will aim to be back up with the bees hopefully within the next week or so, I would say. And I will probably finish jarring this off a live stream, and I'll probably do a little video to do our final tally at the end of it. But like I said, thank you so much for everyone. We're going to end the stream there, and like I said, I'm going to need to go and get the kids from school and nursery. Like I said, if you do have any more questions, feel free to drop them in the comments below. I will pick them up as soon as I possibly can, and I will make sure I see each and every one of you wonderful people as soon as I possibly can. Take care now. All the best. Oh, and stay cool and hydrated. Slip that one in. Take care. Bye-bye.